Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Studio Ghibli month here on Reaction and Review. Tonight, guys, I'm checking out a film from 2006. That movie is Tales from Earthsea. Now, when I first announced I was going to do a month of films from Studio Ghibli, a lot of people warned me or even downright told me to not do this movie because apparently, in the eyes of many Studio Ghibli fans, this is the worst thing the studio has ever pumped out. I have watched some absolutely abhorrently terrible shit this month, so that says a lot. But anytime I try to ask what makes this movie so bad, nobody actually would give me an answer. One person came real close and said that the movie's terrible because the author of the books this movie's based on disowned the movie and said that she didn't like it, which to me means fucking nothing, because I happen to remember that Stephen King doesn't fucking like Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, and Alan Moore doesn't like the movie versions of Watchmen and V for Vendetta. So I'm terribly sorry if a fucking author disowning a film means absolutely fuck all to me. So this could very well be decent. I have no earthly clue. The only thing I know is that it's based on a series of fantasy novels, and the author of the fantasy novels absolutely hates this movie, at least in terms of being an adaptation of her work. She actually said that the movie's alright, it's just not based on her works, whatever the fuck that's supposed to mean. Anyway, I have hopes, guys, for this movie to be good. The only way I'm going to find out if this thing is any good at all, though, is if I shut up and I push play, and I'm going to do that right now. So, without further ado, it's time to kick back, relax, and check out Tales from Earthsea. Well, guys, I can at least say this much. At least the tone of this film is a shitload darker than anything else I've seen this month. The problem is, this movie is also ridiculously dull. I totally understand that the movie has just started, and it totally has time to build up. But so far, guys, we are about 18 minutes in, and not a damn thing has happened yet in this movie, and I kind of fear that we're not going to see a whole lot else for the next hour and 40. I'm certainly hoping that the movie picks up, but right now we are off to a very slow, very dull start. So guys, I'm still waiting for something interesting to happen. So far we haven't gotten much. Actually, we haven't gotten anything. Again, I understand that movies sometimes need a slow boil to get going, but by this point, I was kind of hoping that we'd finally be into the story itself. We'd actually get to see some shit going on. We'd actually have a conflict that was worth it, characters who are worth following. This movie hasn't given us any of that, and I am now fearing more and more that we are going to not get anything like that for the rest of this film. I have a feeling that this is going to suck, guys. Guys, this is almost fucking depressing. We have here a really sizable cast. A cast who I know can fucking act. Nobody's trying. I just saw a scene between Cheech Marin and Mariska Hargitay. Neither of them fucking tried. They both fucking phoned it in. Jesus Christ. Disney, you're better than this. I've seen you dub shittier films, and at least got the actors to fucking try. You almost got something good out of Billy fucking Crystal. You're telling me you couldn't get two talented actors to actually turn in something decent? My god, that honest to god, guys, is making a boring movie even fucking worse, man. This fucking sucks. You know, guys, I just noticed something. You know, and you would think that this sort of thing would have jumped out even sooner. The animation in this movie is fucking awful. I mean, guys, I've been watching these movies for the better part of a month. Almost every one of them have had sweeping, beautiful, cinematic-style animation and art style, and this thing has none of that. It has nothing. I mean, the animation is nowhere near as smooth. The fucking art style, even on things like buildings and backgrounds, are not nearly as breathtaking and beautiful. The color scheme, Jesus Christ, man, the color scheme looks like something out of a Saturday morning cartoon. This is fucking terrible. And I'm not saying terrible by Studio Ghibli standards, guys. This thing is just shit, period. Good God, I really want this movie to end, and I want it to end as soon as fucking possible. It's really sad, guys. This movie's up to its like final act. We're finally down to like the last half hour of the movie. This right here is the time for the movie to actually fucking crawl out of its own ass and maybe give us something good. And it doesn't look like it's shaping up to be anything. Right now, guys, we are building up to a big final battle. I probably give a shit. Unfortunately, not a single one of these fucking characters are likable, interesting. Fuck, none of them actually even have fucking personality. They're all just there for the sake of being there. The closest thing we have to personality is there's a kid with a giant fuck off burn on her face. I don't even know her fucking name. I just know that she's the same age as Aaron, and there's some sword that they can't pull because magic. And just fuck this movie, man. This movie's boring as shit. I am waiting for it to end. I'm counting down the seconds. I want this shit to just end. Well, guys, that was the final battle. There's still about 10 minutes left of this fucking movie. Don't know what the fuck kind of, like, ending we can possibly have from this. It's not like there's any loose ends to tie up. You'd actually have to have a fucking plot for there to be loose ends. Sweet, gentle fuck. Why is there still 10 minutes left? Good God, man. And by the way, that final battle, complete shit, too. So, yeah, let's just see what this last 10 fucking minutes brings, huh? Well, guys, that was Tales from Earthsea. God, fuck off. Okay. Holy shit. I'm trying to figure out where to start, guys. What the fuck? I'm just gonna come right out with it. Writing. I had to go on Wikipedia to look this up, by the way, but apparently this movie is based on the first 4 Earthsea novels. I'm going to assume those novels have things like character depth and conflicts you're going to actually care about, characters that are actually interesting, might actually have shit happening, stuff that'll actually help tell a decent story. Apparently, when they were trying to pare down 4 novels into 2 hours worth of film, they decided that they could sacrifice all of that. So we have no character depth, we have almost no conflict to speak of. The one conflict which is here is shallow and really fucking pitiful. Our characters have almost no depth. I can barely remember the names of any of the characters, unless they're ones like Aaron, Cobb, and Sparrowhawk, where they're said 50 times over the course of the film. But there is no depth to these characters. There's no reason to give a shit about any of them. The conflict here sucks. The story isn't here. There's nothing here in terms of... Guys, I've bitched about writing in previous Ghibli films this month, but motherfucker, none of them are as bad as this. And this thing had a fucking source it was working with. Had a fucking fantasy novel. And they couldn't fucking do it. They couldn't give you 2 hours of interesting story. Perhaps maybe, this is just like a thought. This is a little bit of free fucking advice for you. Perhaps maybe instead of taking 4 novels worth of shit to try and make into a 2-hour film, how about taking 1 novel and making it into a 2-hour film? See if that works, and then further it out and do the other books. Shit. Fucking hell. Guys, the writing here was awful. I was struggling to stay awake. I found myself answering emails and answering messages on YouTube and shit while still watching this thing. I was having more fun talking to douchebags on YouTube. I'm not talking about my regular viewers. I'm talking about angry, pissed off douchebags who just straight up don't like me. I was having more fun messaging them than I was watching this fucking movie. That is how bad the writing is. Now, perhaps maybe, guys, this could have been salvaged by the acting. And since Disney loves to splooge the names of their biggest actors on every fucking case, why don't I read off these names for you? Because these have to be heard to be believed. Timothy Dalton, Cheech Marin, Willem Dafoe, Mariska Hargitay. Not a single fucking one of them tried. This thing also has a sizable cast of well-known established voice actors playing secondary roles and background characters. So we have people like Jess Harnell and a bunch of others. Not a single one of them fucking tried. This is the worst dubbed thing I have seen Disney handle when it comes to Studio Ghibli. This thing fucking sucked. And our two leads, I don't even know who the fuck they are. They play Aaron, and Aaron's burn-faced twin. Yes, guys, Ghibli face is still alive and well in this piece of shit. I don't know who the fuck they are. I actually have the credits paused. Aaron apparently was played by some dude named Matt fucking Levin, who apparently has never acted a day in his goddamned life, doesn't know the first thing about actually putting emotion into what he fucking says. Sounds exactly like he's reading off a script every single time he recites a motherfucking line. And the other lead is worse. Holy mother of fuck. I thought it was bad when they were shit-shoveling, terrible actors from god-awful Disney fucking shows into the secret world of Arrietty, but goddammit, at least they tried. The pricks who worked in this didn't. And that includes our big-name cast. Guys, I thought that Willem Dafoe could do no fucking wrong in terms of acting. Oh, how wrong I fucking was. He absolutely shits the bed here. Part of that, I think, is because apparently his character speaks exclusively in whispers, which means that Willem Dafoe wasn't even allowed to attempt to emote or do anything interesting or fun. Willem Dafoe was not allowed to be Willem Dafoe. He was forced to sit there and whisper every one of these god-awful fucking lines. And I guess maybe it was supposed to sound creepy, it was supposed to sound, intimidating or threatening. It doesn't. It just sounds... Guys, it's just him like this. Every line. And it doesn't sound like he gives a fuck about anything he says. He just has this hate boner for Sparrowhawk. And then that's it. You will hear him just whisper, Sparrowhawk, again and again and again, and there's no fucking attempt to put any feeling into his voice. Do you hear the anger and rage building up in my fucking whisper right now? I'm putting more effort into this than Willem Dafoe did in this entire motherfucking movie. My God, guys. I am so disappointed in Willem Dafoe. Motherfucker, you know how to act. I have seen you take horrible scripts and make them fucking work. There was no excuse for this. You have turned in... This is by far Willem Dafoe's worst performance. I can say the same thing about Cheech Marin. I can say the same thing about Timothy Dalton. This is the worst. I can say that about Mariska Hargitay. What little I've seen of her outside of Special Victims Unit and Ghoulies. This is the worst any of these people have turned in. I know all these people are capable of fucking acting. I've seen them do better. I've never seen them do worse. This is fucking terrible. This is the worst dub Disney has pumped out for any of these films. And that's saying a lot, because I have bitched about this actor or that actor across this entire month. But this is one of the few instances where there isn't a single positive to be found in the fucking dub. And considering the fact that we had Willem Dafoe and we had Cheech Marin, we had all these top shelf actors who know what the fuck they're doing. To have every one of them come in and just phone this sucker in, that is absolutely fucking shameful. And it makes me feel like I wasted 2 hours of my goddamned life. I could have spent better doing anything the fuck else. Now, perhaps maybe, guys, I could have let that shit slide, because I've let bad acting this month slide at times. Because at least, if the acting is shit, I still have the beautiful fucking scenery and the gorgeous animation to look at. Because that is something which Studio Ghibli does, and does incredibly well, except for this fucking movie. Everything is animated in this jerky, stiff fashion. Everything here moves and is colored as if it was not meant for a film. It looks like it was meant for a shitty Saturday morning cartoon. The very fact, guys, that we have that kind of a quality drop from Studio Ghibli, especially considering the fucking director. You see, guys, I know a lot of people absolutely bow bow at the feet of Hayao fucking Miyazaki, and they expect everything that Miyazaki makes will always be great. Well, Miyazaki made the fucking director here. It's his son Goro, and goddammit, Goro Miyazaki will never be Hayao Miyazaki if this honestly is the best shit he can shovel out. This movie was terrible, and it's partially, I think, because he didn't know what the fuck he was doing. Our fucking animation is stiff. Our fucking art style is ugly. Ghibli fucking and the horrible affliction of Ghibli face is there in full force, and it's worse than ever, considering the fact that Sparrowhawk looks exactly like Aaron's father. So when I first saw Sparrowhawk and he had that stupid scar on his face, which actually looks more like white, like face paint on here, I honest to God thought it was Aaron's dad wandering a fucking desert. It didn't help that they got an actor who sounds a little bit like Timothy Dalton to play Aaron's father at the start of the goddamn film. I honest to God thought it was the same fucking character because they have the same face, they have the same beard. The only thing is the scar on the side of his fucking face. My fucking God. And speaking honestly of the only difference between character A and character B is a fucking scar, we once more have two leads who have the exact same face. The only difference is that our female character has this giant red burn across, well, it actually isn't really a burn as much as it's just this like big like red mark across like half of her face, which kind of looks as if somebody slapped her real fucking hard, which would probably explain why the actress always sounds like she's on the verge of tears and being as wooden as possible while being on the verge of tears. Probably because somebody threatened to fucking slap her unless she learned how to fucking act. It obviously didn't fucking work. So yes, guys, our characters here are all fucking samey, which I was kind of expecting. And I would have totally let that slide if anything else here at least looked halfway decent, and it doesn't. Our backgrounds, our settings, our scenery, it all looks plain and boring, and it just doesn't fucking work. The only thing, guys, I'm going to praise about this movie is its fucking score. The music in this movie is absolutely beautiful. That is until we hear What's-Her-Face start singing, and Aaron seems to fall, for her, because she's singing this absolutely horrendous goddamn song. It takes up about 2 minutes of the film. It drags the whole thing to a screaming fuck-off halt, and it is the one point in the soundtrack and in the score that I absolutely loathed watching it, because the bitch can't fucking sing, and the lyrics to that song were horrible. Guys, when all is said and done, am I able to recommend Tales from Earthsea? No. Fuck no. This thing is absolutely insulting from start to finish. Guys, when people were telling me that this was the worst movie that Studio Ghibli had ever fucking put out, I honest to God thought that everybody was just blowing it way out of fucking I thought everyone was blowing it out of proportion. No, hell no. This is the worst this studio has ever pumped out. Holy mother of fuck, this thing is bad. It is bad from a writing standpoint. It's bad from an acting standpoint in the fucking dub. It's bad from an animation standpoint. It's bad everywhere except in the case of music. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, if the only thing your fucking movie has going for it is music, then you shouldn't be putting out a movie. You should be putting out a fucking CD. So holy shit, no guys, I cannot recommend this movie. This thing is absolute shit. Now, where I've said with other movies this month that you can probably get into it if you have kids. You'll probably get into it if you're this, if you're this. I honest to God thought I would say if you're into fantasy films, you're probably going to like this, but I don't even think that much is true, because even though I'm not a huge fan of fantasy films, I know a lot of people who are, and I don't think any of them would want to sit through the 2 hours of bullshit this movie offers. This thing is absolute trash from start to fucking finish. And once more, the only positive it has going for it is its fucking score. And if you really want to hear that, you can probably find all of it on YouTube for fucking free. Don't bother with this fucking movie. It is a piece of shit, and honest to God, I'm actually kind of sorry I bothered watching it. Now, Tales from Earthsea came off the Amazon wish list. I would love to tell you the person who sent it in, but that person wishes to remain anonymous, and that is totally cool. I'm going to absolutely honor that. But dude, I do thank you. I was really curious about this thing. I honest to God was hoping that it would be better. I guess I was hoping that everybody was just blowing things way out of fucking proportion when they were saying it's the worst Ghibli film ever, but no, they were all totally fucking right. This movie is big shit, and I wouldn't have found that out if you hadn't sent it in, dude. And for that, I thank you, and I would love to give you a shout out, but you told me that you didn't want one. I'm gonna totally honor that. That is totally cool, and you are still fucking awesome, and I do thank you. Holy fuck. Good God. I think it's time I watched a better fantasy film. And I've got Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings trilogy here. I've got Peter Jackson's Hobbit trilogy here. I could pick either one of those. And I'd be infinitely better off than what I fucking watched here. So, I think I'm going to go and watch a little bit of The Hobbit. I'm probably not going to watch all 3 movies, but even if I just watched the first one, that's still infinitely better than what I just fucking watched here. So, yeah, I'm going to go do that. That'll probably take my mind off of this. Jesus. Fuck. Anyway, guys, with that, we come to the close of another reaction and review. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care, and I will see you all in the near future. Peace.